This video was brought to you by ASUS and Intel. Today, I'm going to take you through my experience when it came to building my 100,000 peso future-proof gaming PC. This video is actually part 2 of our initial video called Tips for Building a Future-Proof Gaming PC, where we shopped for the parts that will be used to piece together this lovely beast of a computer. So, if you haven't watched that, you can click the I at the top right of this video to check it out and see what went down. But if you want to just stick it out with this video, let me give you a quick rundown. In the last video, we established one main objective, and that was to build a future-proof gaming PC within a 100,000 peso budget. This was all to prepare us for the upcoming next generation of video games. We then made some preparations, went shopping around for good deals, and in the end, we pulled the trigger and got ourselves the parts. And now, it's time to put them all together. So first off, let's go back to our list. This was the baseline we set in the previous video. Now, after looking at various quotations that we gathered during our Gilmore trip, these are the parts that we ended up for our rig. So starting off with the motherboard, we went with the ASUS TUF Z490 Plus Wi-Fi. So just like the name suggests, you don't need a separate Wi-Fi card for this because it's already built in. It also has really good heat sinks to help cool VRMs, M.2s, and other crucial parts. And since we're future-proofing this tough motherboard is actually, well, tough enough for long-time uses due to having certified military-grade components. This baby was priced at 11,600 pesos. Now for the CPU cooler. I'll admit this was somewhat of a themed decision, which also fits the budget. Going for the liquid cooling option, the TUF Gaming LC240 RGB spoke to me as a sturdy option as it's built to last. And since the motherboard was also TUF branded, I thought it makes sense aesthetically as well. The price? 8,810 pesos. The video card was a tough one to decide. However, when I started considering what the budget was, it occurred to me that 1, I would most likely have enough budget for only a 1080p monitor, so the 30 series video cards might be overkill for that. And considering that the 20 series are still guaranteed to give you excellent visuals for a while, at least until we're so deep into the next gen that graphic requirements just shoot up significantly, the ROG Strix RTX 2070S 08G gaming video card just made sense at a price point of 23,850 pesos. Now the RAM was a great find. I canvassed quite a few but ended with a pair of 8GB DDR4 RAM sticks with the G.Skill Ripjaws. What I loved about it the most was that this was really affordable, priced at 3,830 pesos. There was another item that I was pretty happy about, and that was the 512GB ADATA XPG SX8200 Pro SSD M.2. I know how much of a must SSDs are, and I knew I just had to have one for the rig. And after going through a bunch of options, this just gave me really good value at a price point of 4,620. On to the power supply, I did call up my friend to ask which brands were reliable, and of course, he gave a list of brands to look out for. For some reason, this was the one that took me a little bit longer in terms of shopping around. The Seasonic Prime GX Gold 750W fully modular PSU was the one to fit both my requirements and my budget with a price tag of 7,720 pesos. Did I mention that it also has a very nice velvet kind of bag? Okay, let's talk about the case. To be very honest, this was the part where I actually had a bunch of options. And among those options, there were cases that were priced 1,000 to 2,000 pesos cheaper than what I got. But I chose to get the TUF Gaming GT301, which cost me 4,710 pesos. So why did I go for this case? Honestly, it was to match the theme and aesthetic of the other parts I already had. The case also comes with 3 fans in the front and 1 at the back, all of which are RGB. It also has this nice tempered glass panel that properly shows off the insides of your rig really well. Plus, this nice looking strap design that I just found to look really cool. So yes, this was totally an aesthetic choice. So if you're watching this video as a guide to your own purchase, I can tell you that there are other cheaper options so you can save more. Just be sure to get one that fits a 30 series video card for the sake of future-proofing. So now we're at the monitor. This was actually a very simple choice. I was after something that fit the budget and the core look of the rig. I ended up with the ASUS TUF VG249Q1R, which, yes, tough theme, and it has IPS, 165Hz refresh rate, and is optimized for gaming visuals, so it tries to eliminate ghosting and tearing, all for the price of $12,999. And okay, finally, you may have noticed that I left out one particular part, and yes, that's the CPU, but there's a reason why I'm tackling it last. So, the initial goal was to go for an Intel Core i7-10700K, and I found one at 20,999 pesos. It's perfect for everything I need. Gaming, editing content, recording, it fits the bill. And with this being the last part, we were 900 pesos away from 100,000 pesos. Mission success! But I didn't get the CPU, which actually caused me to be slightly over budget. But I decided to stick with it, and I'll tell you why. Because for an additional 1,000 pesos, I got the Intel Core i7-10700KA. What makes the KA better than the K? In terms of specs, absolutely nothing. It's the same CPU, but it comes with a free copy of Marvel's Avengers for the PC. And most importantly, because of the Assemble and Unleash promo by ASUS ROG and Intel, because I bought the i7-10700KA and the TUF Z490 motherboard, I also get a free 512GB Intel M.2 SSD, which bumps up my storage to a total of 1TB. So it was super value for the additional 1,000 pesos. And, you know, also I said I probably could have saved on the case. So I kind of not counting this as an over budget. So okay, those are all our parts. Let's now take a look at our final list and price total. So alright, for the CPU, we have the Intel Core i7-10700KA for 21,999. CPU cooler, we got the ASUS TUF LC240 RGB for 8,810. For the motherboard, we have the ASUS TUF Z490 Plus Wi-Fi for 11,600 pesos. The RAM, we got a 16GB DDR4 3200MHz G.Skill RIP JAWS-V, which was a dual 8GB stick, so there were two of them. And we got that at 3,830. For the SSD, we got a 512GB ADATA XPG SX8200 Pro SSD M.2 for 4,620. Plus, we got a free 512GB Intel M.2 SSD because of the ASUS and Intel promo. Then our video card of choice was the ROG Strix RTX 2070S 08G, which was priced at 23,850 pesos. Our PSU was a very classy Seasonic Prime GX Gold 750W fully modular power supply unit, which was priced at 7,720 pesos. Case was a personal decision, but we got a TUF Gaming GT301 priced at 4,710 pesos. Finally, we got a monitor, the ASUS VG249Q1R at 12,999 pesos. For a grand total of 100,138 pesos. Yes, we did go a little bit over, but I think for that additional 138 pesos, we scored some really good value and was able to build, you know, a future-proof gaming PC. I will confess though that I did buy some additional things that I didn't count in the total because these items are really just optional. But I wanted to show it to you anyway, so let me show you what I got. First off, I got a second monitor, a second ASUS VG249Q1R, so that I'd have a dual monitor setup, and that really helps when it comes to work and editing. And then I got a whole slew of TUF peripherals once again to match the total aesthetic of the rig. I got a TUF Gaming H3 headset, which has a good sound, is light, you know, for those long gaming sessions, and it works with PC, consoles, and phones. I also got the Tough Gaming K3 mechanical keyboard, which not only looks nice, but also has USB slots, which I can use to connect my Tough Gaming M3 mouse, which is light and ergonomic once again. A great choice for those long time uses, which is lately most of the time. And just to round everything up, I got the Tough Gaming P3 mousepad because commitment to the theme. Okay, so what's supposed to come next is for me to show you our assembly video. I asked my friend to help me out and show me how to assemble this rig. But, so much wrong happened. So what you'll see are sped up clips of the assembly while I take you through what went wrong and what we learned. Alright, so this started quite smoothly. And to be fair, my friend was correct in telling me that this looks a lot more complicated than it actually is. There are a few things you do need to watch out for, like how you need to be super careful when you're installing the CPU and to make sure that you're putting it on properly, meaning you're not bending those pins on the motherboard where the CPU is supposed to go. There are a bunch of safety nets when it comes to assembling the PC. Like for example, the RAM slots won't let you slide the RAM sticks in if you have the wrong orientation. So yes, it's not as hard as you may have thought it was, but that's not to say it's easy. I soon found out that there is an art to cable management inside the PC. He also apparently didn't plug a lot of wires, because when we were finally putting everything together, it became apparent that there were a lot of things not lighting up. Still though, even with a messed up assembly and some driver problems that we encountered which led us to being unable to fire up the second screen, I will say that with everything together, this just looked pretty. The peripherals, the dual monitor setup, the case, everything was just so aesthetically pleasing, and it just looked so worth it. But of course, we had to address the issue. Remember what I said about making time and how you should have one more day for just in case repairs? This is the reason why I gave that tip. Apparently, one of the 3 front fans of the Tough Gaming case wasn't working. So, on the next day, I brought the PC, warranty receipt in hand, back to Gilmore to have it repaired. Since I was already there, I used the opportunity to get their help to get the wiring done right. Finally, after all that, with everything plugged, with everything properly done, the rig was working beautifully. And what I saw just looked so epic. It was then that I knew that we were finally done with our objective. So yes, we did it, guys and girls. Sort of. We built a really powerful, future-proof gaming rig with a budget of 100,000 pesos. Sort of. So as we close, I leave you one final tip for when you're building a PC. If you're not that confident with your PC building skills, it might be best for you to just pay the store to assemble the PC for you. Till next time, everyone. Keep on gaming.